Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Financial Finesse. This channel is about finance and finesse and everything in between. Today's topic is going to be how to create a budget. A lot of people want to make a budget to save for a car, save for a house, pay off bills, and they don't really know a good method to do it. And when they find out a method, they don't really stick to it. So I'm going to show you guys the most basic method to create a budget, and that would be the envelope method. So all you really need is 5 envelopes. Got them right here. You don't have to pay for these. If you bank with Chase or whatever bank, just go to the bank, ask to tell for an envelope, and they'll give you envelopes. All right. So with these envelopes, we are going to first we're going to label them. So we're going to label them investments, emergency. I'm going to just call it EMG. Needs, wants, and last but not least, we're going to call this one debt. All right. So the reason why we have these 5 envelopes is because this is where we'll be splitting our paychecks. Now you may say, man, my paycheck, I can't split my paycheck 5 ways. I only make like $400 or $500 a week. That's not a problem. All right. You need to learn how to budget when you're making a little bit amount of money. So when you start making the big bucks, you already have a budget in place and you don't just wild out, start buying Bugattis. Because as you see with a lot of these NFL players, that's how they end up broke. They get a contract. They never had money before. And the first thing they want to do is buy a private jet or rent a private jet, go to Miami and do all the stuff that's not really what you should do, with your money if you're trying to be financially, successful or smart, savvy, whatever you want to call it. All right. So even if you're making $500 a paycheck, you could do this budget. All right. So how this is going to work, let's say you are making $500 a paycheck. You got $500 right here. Yeah, $500 right here. We're going to, pretty much allocate different amounts per envelope. So you guys probably heard this time and time again. When you are, making a budget, the first thing you want to do is pay yourself. So paying yourself just means you take a portion of your money and you set it aside for you, and you use that money to do, for me, I use it to invest. So what I would do is I'd take 20% of my $500, 20% of 500 would be $100, and I would put that in my investments envelope. Now, investments, just as it sounds, money that you're going to use to invest to make yourself either more money. So you could take $100 and maybe you want to invest it into the stock market. Maybe you see some things that you want to buy so you could probably sell later. Maybe you want to buy some books. You want to invest in a course that's teaching you something. Maybe you want to invest in college, things like that. All right, next we're going to do debt. So debt is pretty much your credit card bills, maybe medical bills, any bills that you have to pay. All right, we're going to put 20% in our debt envelope. All right, so 20%. So 20% of 500 is $100. All right. Next, we're going to do emergency. Now, your emergency envelope is pretty much for any emergencies, things that come up at the last minute that you didn't expect. Let's say you're driving on the highway, your tire pops off, now you're tired. You didn't plan for that. All right, but now with this budget, you have an emergency envelope. That's an emergency. Maybe a family member passes away and you have to pay for funeral expenses. That's an emergency. All right, maybe you have to, you got to go visit your aunt. She's, on her last leg. You got to buy that flight. That's from the emergency fund. All right. So we're going to take 20% of our paycheck and put it in the emergency fund. All right. So that's another 100 in the emergency envelope. Pretty much you're going to keep putting money in this envelope until you have 6 to 12 months of living expenses saved up. All right. Because you never know what could happen. You could have a roof over your head, then all of a sudden, a fire starts and now you're homeless. If you have an emergency fund that could cover 6 to 12 months of expenses, you could probably get a hotel. You probably find somewhere else to live while the insurance company handles that so they can reimburse you later. But while you're waiting for that reimbursement, you have money set aside for those situations. Next is going to be your needs. Your needs are the basic necessities that you need to live. So we're gonna need food, we're gonna need water, you might need transportation, not a fancy Bugatti, but you might need, a car to get you around. Or if you live in an urban area, a big metropolitan city, you can take the bus, the train, the subways, things like that. We're gonna put 20% into our needs also. So that's gonna be another $100. And last but not least, the wants. Wants are the things we want, but we don't really need. You may want that new 2K20, you don't really need it. All right, so you have to budget for that. You may want to hang out with your friends Fridays, go to the movies, go to the bar, catch a couple of drinks, just do whatever you want to do. That's the wants envelope. So you're gonna put 20% in there. That's the last 100 from your paycheck. So you successfully divided your paycheck into this budget method, which is just called the envelope method. Now you may be wondering, why envelopes? Why don't we have just separate bank accounts to do everything? Well, because it takes 21 days to break a habit. So with those 21 days, you're probably going to try to, swipe your debit card to just buy something you see at the store last second, and your card's going to get declined. And your card continuously getting declined is going to condition you to remind yourself that you don't need to be spending this money. You can't spend the money from your card if it's not on your card, if it's in an envelope at your house, locked up in a safe somewhere, or anywhere you find safe. All right. During this point, you also want to make sure that you keep all your credit cards at home too, because that would break the budget if you could just swipe your credit card for everything, and it would also add to the debt envelope that you have to pay back. All right. Now, let's say you don't have any debt. Let's say, you paid off all your credit cards, everything's good. Then that 20% of your paycheck that you would usually allocate to debt, you could, put it somewhere else. You could probably, more than likely, I would put it in my investments envelope, but you could put it in your needs, or you could put it in your emergency fund. I wouldn't put it in the wants, because the wants is I don't want to say the least important, but it's not the envelope that you want to have a whole bunch of money in. You want to, put it in the other envelopes of the budget. All right. Let's say you have a lot of debt and it's, it's suffocating, you're basically living paycheck to paycheck. Then you'd probably split your paycheck up 50-50 between your debt and your needs until, you could get your debt down to like a manageable level. All right. Now, let's say you're able to do this method for 21 days, no problem. Then I would say just keep it going. All right, there's nothing wrong with the envelope method. It's a time-tested method. A lot of people do it. And that's just really one of the most oldest budget methods you could, use today. Let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, just drop them below. And thanks for watching the video. This is the Financial Finesse, and we're here to finesse our way to freedom, financial freedom. So subscribe. Smash that like button. Let me know if I'm doing a good job. If I'm not, just drop a comment down. Tell me what I could have done better. Thank you.